Hi everyone. Today I want to talk to you about why I feel connected to God, including Jesus, um, and a little bit about me. I have a disability, which is autism, including a learning disability, along with a kind of disability. I've had this ever since I was born and have been struggling with it in the past, including currently. The challenges that I have with it is I struggle on comprehending on learning different advanced subjects at a certain pace. It is hard for me to multitask in a fast-paced environment, whether I'm working or doing other tasks. Um, I struggle to figure out how to communicate my thoughts or understand conversations at different social settings, including some social cues, and I get teased. Um, I have dealt where I get bullied a lot for having a disability by some of my friends, people I know, people I work with, and other adults, including highly educated people. I've dealt a lot of times where I deal with like spitting, getting spit at, people using vulgar language, people using anti-disability stigma, and it hits me hard and makes me sad. Also, I've dealt a lot of hard times too, where I struggle with friendships a lot, like maintaining them, making new friends, trying to be a good friend to people. Um, and I've dealt a lot of times where people who I know or some of my friends would tell me that I'm not good for them because I have a disability. Sometimes they encourage other people to tease me or spread bad rumors or bad mouth about me. And I've dealt this for a very long time. And it's a challenge too. Social media has been very, very difficult and polarizing for a long time. I've dealt where I would get cyberbullied by people who I'm connected with or other people where they spread bad rumors about me, say mean things about me with a disability, sometimes make a fake picture of me to something that's inappropriate, and it does a lot of damage on me. Um, I work in the food service industry for about 12 years and currently. It's always a hard challenge because I do struggle with a disability in the workplace where it's hard for me to keep up on doing tasks or multitasking in a fast-paced environment. Also in these workplaces, I've dealt where I was being bullied for being disabled by coworkers or sometimes other higher up people. I won't say the names just to protect myself from facing any retaliation. I won't mention any of my coworkers' names just to protect myself from any retaliation. But I've had experiences where they were calling me names like retard, slowpoke, make a lot of anti-disability stigma, and make jokes about think it'd be funny if I took my life. And what I do in this food service industry job is I work on doing dishwashing tasks. I organize the kitchen. I do stocking supplies, and um, and so yeah. Um, and also, I've also dealt a lot of hard times too, where a lot of people would criticize me about me being disabled. People would say, "Oh, people with disabilities like you are lazy. We blame you for the economy not working well. We think people with disabilities are committing fraud or abuse," and it's not only just some of my friends who've done this. It's like people who I know, people I work with, and highly educated people, and it's really hard when I deal with a lot of this stuff. And since I'm a Christian, I've always been really closely aligned to praying to God, including Jesus, all the time, and including now in my upper 30s, I feel more heavily connected with Jesus, including God, because I view them as role models for me. Um, I'm always view them as an inspiration to me, and I value They're good philosophies that they taught me, like the need to expand on social justice, support expanding on human rights, including the rights of the disabled, advocate for the poor, the disadvantaged, the disabled, or people struggle with poverty. And the philosophy is about teaching me about being compassionate, understanding, kindness, and expand on critical thinking skills. And so I really do admire learning all this from Jesus Christ, including God, and um, and also reason why I really like being connected to God, including Jesus, is because um, I like to pray to them all the time, where I try to tell them that I'm a human being who struggles with disability, but I try to do good things, or try to work hard to navigate different challenges. Um, because in general, when you're talking to people or people you know or some of my friends, I deal a lot of times where even if I do struggle with my disability, if I have hard days, or if I'm still with depression, or if I want to share some good things. I get rejected by people a lot, including some of my friends. They don't want to listen to me, don't value me as a human being. And even if I'm dealing with depression, I deal with them telling me, "Oh, you're just a Debbie Downer. You're a complainer. No one wants to listen to you," and um, and that's a challenge for me doing that. But when I do talk to God, including Jesus, I always try to be the best version of myself, to pray to them. I try to tell God, including Jesus, like, to be honest. I do struggle with my disability. I struggle with challenges of my disability, like trying to figure out how to communicate my thoughts or to understand conversations. Sometimes it may be socially awkward, even though I don't mean to. Um, I work hard on trying to educate myself, whether it's through watching documentaries, listening to current events, listen to audiobooks, or having interest in learning history, including social justice, or taking modules to understand different issues that we face, like diversity, equity, inclusion, or ways to reduce harassment. Also, what I also to explain that I'm trying my best as I can as a Christian and also as a human being with a disability, is trying to be compassionate and understanding of other people that have struggles in life, whether they struggle with mental health or disability, or struggle with poverty or other issues. I also tell them that I'm trying my best to understand or expand on critical thinking skills to help me navigate different situations. And in my prayer, I also mentioned about, like, I have worked in the food service industry for a long time. I try my best to try to understand coworkers. I try my best to communicate my thoughts, my concerns, or try to ask questions about how to improve myself, to be a better person working in this type of job. Even though I struggle with my disability, I list to them saying, I try to pay attention to details, like making sure dishes, silverware are clean, and try to organize as best as I can, even though I do get bullied by coworkers or sometimes people who are higher up about it. And I also tell God, including Jesus, that I do volunteering, where I provide grocery bags with canned goods or including essential items to help feed the homeless, or people who are disadvantaged or disabled, or people who with poverty or other issues, where um, I try to do the best I can as a Christian, and also, again, as a human being with a disability. I'm trying to help others or trying to be compassionate towards the people who struggle the most. And when I try to tell God about the things that I'm trying to work hard, or trying to understand myself as a human being in a society where it's broken, where it's filled with bigotry, including hate, or when people aren't appreciative of me, um, I can feel them listening to me, and listen to my thoughts, my concerns, and try to understand me as someone who's trying to work hard or trying to understand things in a society, again, that's broken, that's filled with bigotry, including hate, or very polarizing. Um, and I can feel them, like they're not judging me, they don't pick on me, they understand my feelings, my concerns, and I feel like they can appreciate me for trying to be honest about my struggles with disability and or sometimes making mistakes, but also trying to tell them that I'm trying to be a human being with kindness, compassion, understanding, and working on critical thinking skills. And also, when I actually pray to God, including Jesus, I even pray that I hope that they can put me on a good path. I hope they can um, give me some how the world be kind, compassion, understanding to me as somebody with a disability, and that there won't be so much hate or bigotry against me. And that I hope that they could be good things for me in the long run, whether it's me getting something nice, some kind words, or people to respect me, or even ways to help improve my health, whether I deal with health issues or whether I deal with challenges with my disability to get some kind of help or relief or that. Um, and also, I do pray a lot too, because about how I hope that people who have bullied me or people who say mean things can learn how to be better people. I know that in real life, for me, I've always been a victim of being bullied or cyberbullied or being spit at or dealing with vulgar language or people using hateful rhetoric, and it's always hard for me to forgive people who do these things because it's very painful, but I try my best to forgive. What I always do with my prayers to them is I try to pray that I hope you can help me um, make sure that the people who done bad things or spawned me or done really bad things, not only in the past but currently and beyond, is a hope that they can learn themselves to be better people and that. And so. Um, and I try my best to forgive. You know, it's not easy because I deal with a lot of hateful rhetoric a lot too, and people say mean things. But um, the only best thing I can do is try to pray to God and including Jesus, tell him, I hope you can help me forgive the people that have wronged me, but also I hope you can make sure that the people who've done bad things to me can learn how to be better people in the long run or learn from their mistakes to be better. And that's all I can do. And so. Um, But also, what I've noticed with me being in my 30s, I've become more tiresome of being around lots of people because I deal with a lot of bigotry and hate. I deal where people will will not be stopping saying mean things. They like to spit at me. Sometimes in the workplace, sometimes outside. I deal a lot of times too where people would make fun of me for being disabled. I had heard so many times from women, including girls, where they tell me that no girl's gonna ever like you because you're disabled or you're ugly or you're a retard and other mean things. And I've been kind of been exhausted a lot too, trying to continue working hard on trying to present myself as a human being who wants to do good things because I've dealt a lot of times where people reject that. They don't want to validate me as a human being. They don't want to listen to me trying to present good intentions where I try to say I'm trying to be a good listener to the people I care about. I try to be emotional support for the people that are struggling or whether they deal with something positive in life. I try to be compassionate, understanding, and work in critical thinking skills to improve myself. And so I've been kind of been burnt out a lot when I'm around a lot of people because I have to spend all my energy just trying to keep up with people a lot. I have to try to be positive with people, even if I don't have the energy, and so that's hard. So I've been trained to more praying and talking to God, including Jesus, as a way for me to feel comfort, but also as a way for me to get my thoughts, my concerns, and me trying to express good intentions as a way where it helps me out. And so I feel more comfortable connecting with God, including Jesus, through prayer or just trying to talk to them about my thoughts, my feelings, my concerns, and the things that I'm struggling, but trying to do good too. Um, Also, another thing too is reason why I feel I like to be more connected with God, including Jesus, is because I have lost a lot of good people in my life. People have passed away, including my aunt, my best friend, and a lot of other people. that were good to me. They understood me as a person who's trying to do good things, even though I struggled with my disability or when I had difficulty in understanding my disability challenges, when I had struggles. They never judged me harshly. They listened to me. They gave me good advice. They understood me. And I've dealt a lot of hard times too, where grief really hits me hard all the time, whether it's just every day, every year, every month, or on the anniversary of their passing. It always hits me hard. And I've dealt a lot of hard times too, where people would make fun of me for losing people close to me. People would say, "Oh, it's funny that you lost somebody in your life," and they make fun of me. Or sometimes people tell me, um, you're a Debbie Downer, you're a bad person because you're depressed about losing people in your life that have passed away. You should get over it. You should man up. You should move on. And again, it's hard because the people who passed away in my life were very good people again. They understood me, they valued me as a human being, even though I struggled with my disability or had challenges. And they never judged me in a harsh way. They always gave me good advice, gave me good ideas, teaching me about life lessons to help me improve myself for the better. And um, and when I pray to God, including Jesus, I always pray to them about how I really want the people who've passed away in my life is to make sure they're taking care of the afterlife. I want to make sure that they can know deep down in the afterlife, knowing that I'm still thinking of them and how I appreciate them, how I'm inspired by them, and how I value them as human beings who really try to teach me good things, who value me as a person with a disability, who never judged, never hated, never used bigotry, and how I appreciate them. So I always pray to God, include Jesus, to look after them, but also to make sure that they know that deep down that I appreciate all of their contribution towards me to try to help me out. And so I do this a lot, and so I pray to God about this on an everyday basis. Again, including the anniversary of the passing, but I do this a way to help me feel try to help me connect with God, including the people who've passed away, because it's I always get sad when they're not physically around, or whenever I try to think of the good memories, the good times. It's hard without seeing them physically, so that's what I try to do. I myself have always liked learning history. I've always enjoyed learning about famous people, famous historical figures. I've always listened to current events about social justice and documentaries. And I have seen the world go in very, very polarizing directions. I've seen too many times where we have too many public officials, including members of our judicial system, where they are basically corrupt or have a lot of people who have very bigoted views against people with disabilities, minorities, women, immigrants, and especially on good ideas on improving social justice, like having universal health care, protecting our environment, having a comprehensive immigration reform or a criminal justice reform. And I've seen too many times where a lot of times that the wealthy, the law firms, um, financial institutions, and police unions, where they spend too much of their money corrupting our public officials, including our election cycle, where it does more damage than good, where it hurts a lot of people that really need help a lot. And so also, as a volunteer and a Christian myself, I've seen a lot of people that struggle with poverty, that struggle with health issues. Some of them have a disability. Some of them got very sick, but they were kicked off Medicaid or food stamps, and they can't get access to food stamps or healthcare services. Many people have served our country, but they came back home and don't have access to the VA hospital or don't have any access to getting help, even though they have served our country. And I've seen a lot of these people that have struggled a lot too. Whenever I volunteer to provide food for the people that struggle the most, I hear sad stories about people who are trying their best to navigate a society that's broken, or when government resources aren't available. I hear listen to sad stories about people who have health issues, but they don't have enough money to pay just to get dental work, or don't have enough money to pay for healthcare services or that. So I've seen a lot of these people struggle too, and as a volunteer myself, I always do the best I can to provide them with essential items, including food. Sometimes I do a short prayer where I try to pray with them, try to tell them that I'm thinking of them. I want them to get the care they need. I want them to get affordable housing. I want them to get access to food or medicine or other things that can help them in the long run. But I try my hardest to always pray for a world to be a better place, including for people who struggle these challenges. Because I always try to not be a person who not only thinks about myself but think about others. Where I always try to pray for a lot of good common sense ideas, like I really pray that I hope that we can live in a world where we don't have to deal with discrimination or hate or bigotry, where we can expand on human rights, including the rights of the disabled. We can protect our environment from pollution, while at the same time to find ways to improve on renewable energy or alternative energy to reduce carbon emissions, but also make our water resources clean for people to use and to make the environment safe. I even pray that we have a comprehensive immigration reform where we can protect immigrants, including refugees, along with the children of them from oppressive countries or authoritarian countries where they don't recognize human rights or don't have um, ways to help the people get access to a safe place, while we can expand on border security and and also to protect immigrants and refugees from dealing with hate in our country. And also with criminal justice reform, I believe that we need to work. I always pray that we need to have ways where we can have drug treatment programs to help reduce drug abuse, expand on wrongful conviction unit to make sure that people don't go to jail for a crime that they didn't commit, while we expand on funding on forensic science, good DNA testing, to reduce sending innocent people to jail. I believe we need to have laws to prevent police misconduct, including police brutality, to protect many people, especially minorities or people with disabilities or who struggle with mental health. And also, I strongly believe that we pray and believe that we need to have universal health care to help people who struggle with pre-existing conditions or who are disabled or who can't afford health insurance get the care that they need. Um, and also, I also pray that I hope that we can expand on medical research, including stem cell research, as a way to combat against different diseases or to prevent diseases from expanding um, in the long run, where we can advance on technology and science to help improve society better and to help protect people's healthy lifestyle and that. And also I even pray for the people who are poor, disadvantaged, disabled, people who struggle with debt. Is I hope that they can get out of debt, because we are all human beings who are trying to navigate a society that is broken, that is filled with bigotry, including hate, but also a society that has been corrupted by the wealthy, the special interest groups, the financial institutions, and we have too many times that members of public officials and members of our judicial system are very corrupt, and they don't want to help people, and they don't want to advocate for good policies. And so I always try to pray for a lot of these good things, and I've learned a lot of these good things through studying history, through watching current events, through being a volunteer for a very long time, but also through listening to God, including Jesus Christ's good philosophies about these common sense things that I've mentioned. And I pray for it all the time. I pray on an everyday basis because I really want a world to be a better place, not just for me with a disability, but for people who are struggling during difficult times, or not only in the past, but currently, or even trying to navigate society to get help. And I even pray that I hope that we can have a good political system where we don't have corruption, we don't have members of our judicial system or public officials engage in corruption or engage in misconduct, or heavily rely on big money or dark money from special interest groups, financial institutions, the wealthy, police unions, and many other corruptible groups. And so, and so, um, but it's always a challenge for me to feel connected to God, including Jesus, too, sometimes, because sometimes I get easily mentally drained because I keep praying all the time, because I deal with so many challenges in my life, but seeing the world being broken. And sometimes I feel like my prayers may not be answered, or my vision of a world to be a better place, or trying to pray for something good for me. But um, at the same time, I feel very closely aligned with God, including Jesus, because they don't judge me in a bad way. They understand me as a human being who struggles with a disability, but um, but understands that I really want to try to be a better person, trying to be a better person with kindness, compassion, understanding, working critical thinking skills, trying to help others who are in need, trying to be a good ally for the people who I care about, but also be a good advocate for social justice, including the rights of the disabled, along with human rights. And and I feel closely aligned with them, and sometimes when I even pray to them about these things, I can feel them again listening to me, not judging me, but also talking to me, trying to remind me that they understand me, that I'm trying my best to be a human being, even though I have challenges with my disability, but understand that I'm trying to be a human being who wants to do good things, even though it's hard, and that they both know that they are very proud of me for trying my best to do good things, to work hard, to also try to advocate for good policies or support of these good policies that I previously mentioned, and that and so I know a lot of people, including some people very religious, may tell me like, "Oh, it's so weird that you feel connected with God, including Jesus," or "It's weird that you're praying to them all the time," or "You're kind of crazy when you listen to them talking to you or understanding me." But all I can just do is try to remind myself that um, as a Christian, as myself, it's always good to always try to continue on following the good philosophies that Jesus Christ and God taught me. But also, as a human being who struggles with a disability, it's always good for me to try to pray to God about, including Jesus, about the visions that I have for a world to be a better place. But I just hope that they can understand me as a human being, and who struggles but tries to do good things, and they understand me as a person with a disability. So I feel good about doing this a lot, like being connected to God, including Jesus, about praying to them, talking to them, and having them listen to me and not judge me, and try to give me good advice and try to reassure me that they understand me and value me for trying my hardest to be a human being, even though I do struggle with a disability. And so I hope that people understand why I feel connected to God, including Jesus, the type of person I am, having struggles, but some of the things I'm trying to do good, but also what things I pray to them, and trying to be the most honest, but try to express to God, including Jesus, about my thoughts, my concerns, my vision of a world to be a better place, and the things that I want good things in life.